So today we're making 5 by 6 long toms, about 2 pounds of clay, roughly a kilo. They're quite a quick pot, so no bringing up and down to centre, just a quick push to centre, thumb in, straight down to the wheel head, one knuckle, knuckling up as because you're using a knuckle to do the job, and then usually 1 or 2 ribs up. And they're called ribs because originally they used animal bones for this job. An animal rib would have been perfect. So with these pots, it's important not to use too much water. So the idea is that you're not sponging out when you're finished. So again, just a quick push to center, thumb straight in, there, and a pull up. Now, because this clay is unwashed, you do get the occasional little lump in it, but that's the nature of these pots, it's just a flower pot. It's not a fancy vase or anything like that, just the flower pot. So it's got to do a job. It's got to look reasonably pretty. So you slam it down with some force so that you make sure it doesn't fly off. Put your wire through twice so that it draws any water that's in the hole. It draws the water back out. So you can hear that there's a bit of grit in there as it's striking across my rib. But we'll leave that in there for a bit of luck. So the clay you're using it's got to be quite soft for these. With these pots, you'd be making probably about 500-600 a day, at least. And that's been quite lazy. So a normal working day on these would be probably around about 700 to 800. But I'm getting a bit old. Thankfully, we don't get such big numbers to do these days. So you can see how soft the clay is. So thumb into center, straight down to the wheel head, bring it out slightly to form the base, and then hook it. And you're pulling it through like that. And that motion there is an important one between your fingers. And there we have it. Right. That's it for those. Hi, sorry, we've been a bit quiet this last week. Thank you, amazing with incredible sales, which was really nice to it's the first time I've ever made any domestic ware, any mugs and cups for the first time for nearly 40 years. I think I've made maybe a dozen in that period. Certainly never to sell any. So yeah, that was interesting. And we're busy actually making the next batch of stuff, which will be out at the end of this month. We're not going to do any big runs, so the biggest run will be about 20 or something. So there'll be like 10 of this kind of large. This is my working one. This is what I have for my tea and at work. So yeah, and the other reason we've been quiet this week, we've been doing a lot of ridges. So these have got sort of a club, as it were, cut out. So we've got on this job, we've got the plain ridges, the decorative cutout ridges. We're also doing all the valleys and bonnets, and the whole job is bespoke. So it's quite an interesting job, but it's a bit boring, and it's a good 2 or 3 weeks work. But yeah, it keeps you busy. And then the old chimney castle, that's yet to be turned over, and that'll be made into more of a dome. So that fits onto that there. So again, that's a bespoke job. And then obviously the bricks are still drying. If you can remember, we were showing a wet brick method. So this gives you a brick that looks really, really old. So you can finally see what the result of that was. So yeah, busy couple of weeks. So sorry we haven't been posting anything, but that's just work really. Sorry. Bye bye.